will literally show you the career that you've been wanting, itching, dying to see.
Time to experience the nooks and crannies of careers with your own 2 feet on.
K-Patch.
With Cedric.
It is a Monday, and if you've got the Monday blues, I've seen a few listeners have been complaining it's time to go back to work today, then Cedric is here with his wonderful videos on a certain topic of the country to show to you and blow away your proverbial cobwebs. Good morning, Cedric.
Wow, that was quite a statement there.
I don't know if it's true. Can you live up to it?
I don't know about today.
You've got to blow them all away, Cedric. Otherwise, people will want their money back. Okay?
Oh, wow.
And they've paid nothing, so we can give you full refunds every single day.
That'd be easy.
How have you been over the past 7 days, Cedric?
Pretty good, but also, like I was mentioning to you before the show started, had a little injury on my lower back.
Oh no, exercising.
Exercising my lumbar region of the back. And just been kind of taking it easy. I felt like I've aged about 20 years over the weekend.
When you've got a bad back, you're just like hobbling around everywhere, right?
Yeah, and then sleeping is difficult. So, I'm learning how to properly sleep. Even when you don't have a back injury, there are certain ways to sleep. So I've been doing a lot of self-research, I should say.
How do you normally sleep, pre-looking into it? What was your usual position?
Usually on one of my sides.
Okay.
I'm a side sleeper, and that's usually not an issue. But the thing is, if you don't have anything propped up between your legs, your spine is a little more compressed.
Yeah, do you just sleep usually with your legs together?
I think so. I think so. I don't really pay attention when I'm sleeping, how I sleep. But
I like sleeping on my side for a bit of the night at least. I have to have a cushion, or I was telling listeners recently, the traditional thing in the summer is a bamboo cylinder that keeps you cool, and I have that between my legs. Like, I hate my knees touching. It feels weird to me. Like, I don't know, it feels like my posture's a bit off. So is that what you're talking about? Like, you need something between your legs?
Yeah, so I just put a pillow between my legs, and so that's really to help me just to rehabilitate, and really rest is pretty much all I need.
Yeah, I feel you're not going to rest enough. You're going to be back in that gym soon,
I'm tempted to go today to just walk on the treadmill.
No. Walking to the studio, that was enough. Dr. Peter says backs are really, really important, aren't they? Like when you get older as well. I heard, this is random, someone was telling me on Friday, like the best position to sleep, like optimally, and I've heard this a few times, is on your back, right? You're meant to sleep just on your back, and your knees can be raised a bit so you can put a pillow under there. And this lady told me that I've never heard before, you should sleep with your mouth slightly open.
Oh, really?
Like if your teeth are kind of clenched together, it's bad for your jaw. So like just train yourself to sleep mouth agape, like it's not very attractive, I don't think, but apparently that's good for you.
Oh, wow. I think I do that anyway.
Really?
So I'm okay.
I would love to see you sleep, which is a weird statement to make on a Monday morning. Today's hashtag, Cedric, before we go any further, is performance, or 공연 in Korean. What is the last performance you think you've seen or been to?
Man.
Do you like going to like musicals and plays and things like that?
I do. When I lived in New Jersey and worked in New York City, I've had the opportunity to actually see several different Broadway shows.
Oh, wow. What was your all-time favorite?
I would say probably Chicago.
Oh,
you know about Chicago, right?
Very
popular, like gangster movie, like a very old-timey movie. That was really good. Another interesting one though was Kinky Boots, which may not be the most appropriate to talk about.
It was in Korea. They had a Korean version. My friend, I think maybe he's a friend of yours as well, Hyunwoo, who runs Talk to Me in Korean. He went to see it because his wife, I think, dragged him along, and then he was like, "It's amazing!" Like he'd never have thought to go and watch it. I want to see it after hearing some good reviews. That's one of the memorable ones.
Yeah, so those two. I mean, I've seen a couple others. I've seen like even a ballet, which was really long. It was nice.
I saw Nutcracker at the Seoul Arts Centre just across the road, and we went out after the first half. Like, it was so long, and we didn't understand what was happening, and the men were in these really tight tutus, and it was hard for me to just concentrate, and my wife as well, to be honest. It's just not our cup of tea. Maybe we're not cultured enough yet, Cedric. Right. Who knows? That's today's hashtag, so keep on sending in your messages. We did, I see, get a question about the 100 days thing, because Seong, our former guest, who I think you had the pleasure of meeting, maybe at our Heshik. She had a 100-day celebration for the baby, and some of you guys, I think, in the States were saying, why would you celebrate 100 days? Well, that used to be a big milestone, even a baby surviving to 100 days. So we celebrate that, and then a year is called the Doljanchi as well. Maybe in the future, if Corona dies down, for her Doljanchi, like 1 year birthday, if she has a big one, we could go and film that for K-Patch. That would be kind of cool.
That would be cool.
Because there's a fun little event they do. More on that maybe in about 265 days' time.
Great math there.
Just about. We're going to be talking about social distancing in just everyday life in Korea today.
In everyday life, I mean, obviously, COVID-19 has impacted the world and how they live their daily lives, and that's no different in Korea. And so we've had a good chance to adjust to it, and we're still adjusting to it. We're making changes as we go along, and so just going to show you guys a little bit of what the daily life is like in different areas.
Fantastic. I think this is really pertinent because so many countries have now opened up almost back to normal with social distancing kind of built in.
Right.
And I think every country is doing it differently. And since we've been quite a good example here in Korea, maybe other countries can learn. But at the same time, maybe there are things that we're not doing great. And listeners, while you're watching, maybe comment on those things. And who knows, maybe we can improve as well, right?
Right. And I have my opinions on what I feel like we're doing well, which generally I give our country an A. But, there are a couple of tweaks I think that we can do a little better. But we can maybe mention that a little later.
Absolutely. We like to give a well-rounded view of things. I see Faz Benchmark has found an emoji. A social distancing emoji is out there now. I need to get my hands on that. That is unbelievable. Okay, so what's our first video going to show us?
So the first video, we're going to look at how social distancing is impacting public transportation. Specifically in this video, I'm going to show you the subway system. So let's watch.
Okie dokie. Nice and empty, breezy station there.
Yeah, signs everywhere. So at this
multiple
point,
languages.
Yeah,
for the masks.
You have to wear a mask before entering, and this is where you refill your transportation card. If you use one of those.
And it's telling you the distance to stand from someone else.
Right. Again, tons of signs. If you need a cough this way. Wear a mask.
Cough into
hand
your
sanitizer.
elbow. Don't get into a really crowded subway car. It seems to be saying
common
there.
sense. Yeah.
And then some sanitizer just on a random stool. They'll just put it anywhere, it seems, right?
Right. And then I found that interesting. Not all subway stations have that sign, but it says you need to wear your mask before entering.
You must,
You
right?
have to.
Yeah, in the UK as well, it's public transport where you must wear a mask, and then everywhere else it's kind of optional.
Right.
Here in Korea, it's a must also on public transport. I've
Right.
heard.
Yeah, effective a few weeks ago, I believe. Or maybe even over a month.
There are posters everywhere.
Everywhere.
I haven't been on the subway since Corona, so I've not seen this. I see in the foot markings for how far you should be standing from the next person.
Yeah, and for the most part, because I split my time between the bus and also the subway, but I do see at non-peak times, people are typically pretty distant. But then I think, during those peak times of heavy traffic or, like maybe rush hour, people are getting off of work or going to work. People are still pretty crammed.
I was going to say, like, in that video, it looked like everyone was able to practice social distancing. Right. But, yeah, when it's peak, true Tegun is what we call it, right? Going to work and coming back from work. They're not, like, limiting people getting on or anything, right?
Not that I know of. I haven't seen that. And, it's almost like it's not really possible to during those hours because Seoul has so many people and so many commuters. Yeah. It's not possible to have the adequate distance. But I think what helps Koreans here, or just anyone here, is the fact that everyone does have to wear a mask. And so even if you are in close proximity, people aren't typically touching each other on purpose, and they're wearing a mask. So I think that is very helpful.
Yeah, so I think many other countries, including the UK, which has been famous for being so behind on Corona-19 measures, they also said once they eased the lockdown that public transport, you must wear a face covering. They say face covering because I think there's still a shortage of like the mask that we've got here, like the professional ones. So they've encouraged you to just make something out of cloth at home and just wrap it around your face, so to stop any kind of spit getting out if you're coughing or sneezing or something like that, right?
Sure. I suppose that's better than nothing.
Yeah, it does seem that way. Do you know what it's like in the States? Are people on public transport at least encouraged to wear masks and stuff?
I haven't really kept up with public transport, but I would imagine it's just state by state, because every state's pretty much on their own.
Sure.
And so I think it's just different rules, and there's still a lot of confusion as far as what the CDC guidelines are and what states are actually implementing, or if they're even following those guidelines at all.
It seems a bit tricky in the States, with all the different states being able to control to a certain extent what they can do, right? But yeah, I guess in the States as well, the other thing is, apart from the big cities like New York and places like that, there isn't a massive public transport infrastructure, right? A lot of people drive or live far away from the city and use the roads. That might be a good thing, I suppose.
Right,
Yeah.
right, correct.
You wouldn't get in too close proximity with other people. Josh Lee says they're putting 12 kids on a bus here in Edwardsville, Illinois, and they will give you a mask on a bus and then another mask when you enter the school that you have to wear all day. Oh, wow. That sounds good.
That's good, and I'm glad they're doing that for the kids.
Yeah,
especially.
And Pastor Lover says, they're beginning to enforce the mask rule now here in the States.
Good.
It's better late than never, I suppose, right? So here I saw a story not so long ago about a lady in the subway in Seoul, and I think she maybe got on with a mask, but then she took it off inside the carriage, and then all the other passengers were berating her.
Oh, wow.
And she was like, I don't want to wear it. And then everyone was like, no, you must wear it. So they stopped the train and they got some officials down, because it's illegal, I think, right, by the rules on the subway. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they have a no mask, no ride rule that was implemented a couple of weeks ago, and so that's sort of the English translation. I don't know what the official title of that is, but
that sounds good.
Everyone has to wear a mask, and the thing is, if you don't want to abide by it, then you can't ride. So I don't fault the citizens for speaking up, because it's a serious thing.
Sure. So that applies on the buses, I believe, as well.
The
right?
buses, and also on the taxis now. From what I understand, I believe that they have the right to refuse any passenger who isn't wearing a mask.
Oh, wow.
Because typically they are fined if they are reported to have maybe discriminated against, or maybe not picked up a passenger.
You're meant to pick up any passenger, right? As like a public transport thing.
Yeah. And so I think now they have the ability to say, no, we will not take you because you don't have a mask on.
Oh.
And they don't have to worry about getting fined.
That seems good for the taxi drivers' safety. And I assume the taxi drivers themselves are wearing masks for the most part.
Yeah, I've seen every taxi driver wear a mask. And so, and you're in such a close quarter, it's very dangerous if you don't. And also, this applies to domestic and international flights here in Korea now. You must wear
masks in the plane.
Yep.
If you go into Jeju-do Island, that doesn't seem like it would be too tricky. But if you're on the flight for 18 hours, that's going to be really suffocating, I feel. But obviously safety comes first. Let us know what it's like in your country and your reaction to those videos. We've had so many requests from V Live, but also from Jisoo and Faz for BTS. We're going to go with your song request, Jisoo, from Korea, Boy with Love. 작은 것들을 위한 시. We're back for part 2 of K-Patch on a Monday. Sky Seti from YouTube comes in and takes some great videos on a certain topic to do with Korea. Today, it's social distancing in our everyday lives, which is what the government, I think not just here, but in many places around the world, is really pushing, so we don't have to change our lives too much and get back to a certain sense of normality. Got a few messages to read.
Pasta Lover says, I'm glad people in Korea are more cooperative than Americans. They should regulate the subway capacity, and New York cases are going down, but cases in other places are going up.
Yeah, I saw a infographic of the states, and it had so many states where it was going back up, where it wasn't steady anymore. I don't know if it's a second wave officially, but with the easing, it doesn't look great.
Yeah, I think most would agree it's the first wave. But I do agree that Korea has been very cooperative as a whole, but the states, people are still arguing against wearing masks and abiding by social distancing because of their First Amendment rights, and so it's quite crazy.
Yeah, we will try and give a balance for you here, because I'm sure me and Cedric have seen things that maybe aren't great, and maybe as well, we've taken part ourselves in things that are great. We're only human after all. And so I was driving on the way here this morning, and I just did a quick survey, knowing that we would talk about this, and I saw people outside an office building and people outside a nursery, which is also open. And I saw one mum and her little maybe 4-year-old girl. They were getting out of their car going to the nursery, and neither had masks. I was like, okay, you're an adult, that's okay for you, but surely you should put a mask on your daughter. I was surprised because my daughter, she goes to nursery pretty much every day, but she needs to wear a mask the whole day inside and out, and she's gotten used to it. She hated it at first, but she's making sacrifices. I saw that and I was like a bit concerned, and then I saw out of the office workers, maybe 2 out of 10 weren't wearing masks.
Right.
So it's not like everyone 100% pasta lover. Don't think that we are 100% obedient. There are people in Korea who don't listen as well.
Right. And I have a confession after we watch the video. So we'll talk about
All
that.
right. So what's video 2 going to show us then?
Okay, so video 2 is going to show what my life is like with social distancing, with some of the things that I do.
Okay. Let's take a look at Cedric's life. We're going to get it over onto this screen. I think it's on the wrong screen. There we go. Where's this?
So this is the gym where you sign in.
Where you got injured.
Yes, the other day.
Oh, so you have to sign in and do a little temperature check. What's that?
So this is the QR code check-in, which a lot of places are implementing.
Your gym has that?
Yeah. And of course, everyone has to wear a mask.
In the gym?
In the gym.
Wowzers.
There are signs on literally every machine saying you have to wear a mask, stay a safe distance away from people.
1 to 2 meters away.
Also, a random little art exhibition in the park.
Oh,
you have
hand sanitizer there.
Yeah, and it's
2
quite
meters.
distant.
Okay.
Right? This is one of the big chain marts here. When you want to go shopping, the food court.
It's asking you to stay a couple of tables away from each other.
Right.
That's nice. It looks very empty and quiet then. I'd love to see it in peak weekend time. It won't be the same, right?
No.
But they've got all the signs everywhere. Oh, it says 1 meter there as well. That's interesting.
Yeah, so when you're checking out, you have to make sure you're staying a safe distance. And of course, I get coffee about every day, so...
You get a lot of coffee See, that's not 2 meters for
it's
sure,
not.
right?
That's what I was thinking, but, good try.
Yeah.
So at least they have, signs on the floor.
Sure, it's definitely better than nothing. It's really weirdly inconsistent, though. Some places it is a good 2 meters.
Right.
And other places I've seen like that, where it's maybe 50 centimeters a meter at best.
Yeah, it's I don't know how they measure it. I don't think they even measure it in some places. Just kind of eyeball it.
I think they take into account how much space they have, and if it means that they're going to not be able to fit enough customers, they'll make the distance less, I believe. So please, guys, I mean, Korea's a great example. We do want to champion that, but it's not perfect here. Don't think that we're 100% perfect. And what's your confession? I'm really curious.
So in the gym, as I mentioned, and as you saw, I was wearing my mask, but most people in the gym, including myself, while we're working out, we'll kind of have the mask maybe exposing our nose, or maybe even our mouth exposed so we can breathe. And so it's almost and no one says anything.
It's like half cheating. But I've seen that so often. I do the thing where as soon as I walk past someone and I don't see someone in my immediate vicinity, I'll pull it under my chin straight away. And then when I see someone coming, I'll quickly try and pull it up. But sometimes I forget, and you're left exposed. And it's just difficult, right? We're humans. We don't want to be uncomfortable. And when you're working out, I can imagine that must be really suffocating.
It's very, very uncomfortable. Yeah.
That's
So
really
I think most people in my gym, they sort of do that.
Okay. All
so
right.
I confess.
We're shaming all of Cedric's gym. No, we're kidding. Of course, many people are doing that. We've also got some photos to show as well, right?
Right. So here's some measures that different places in Seoul and really in Korea they're doing. And so
we're going to try and get the pictures up. I think they're just getting loaded now. Here we go.
Okay. So this is the QR code sign-in system. And so basically some 80,000 different establishments are implementing a QR check-in.
So do you have to download an app or something?
Well, the way I do it at the gym is through the Naver app.
And then you scan a QR code, or there's your own QR code?
So I think it's a different QR code every time, but it's linked to you. And so it's just to keep it safe and secure.
Wow.
And basically it's a way for them to contact trace if something comes up, so they know where you've been and
so
things like that.
It's kind of, instead of you having to sign in with all your details, that will have your details all linked to the QR code, right?
Right,
Okay.
exactly. So just to make it more efficient, they implemented that because of the recent outbreak in Itaewon with the nightclubs and having trouble tracing.
Yeah, they couldn't trace a massive proportion of people because they put down fake details or inaccurate details.
Exactly.
Right.
So nightclubs, gyms, those places are requiring QR codes. Now, this next photo is a school cafeteria. So now they're putting up these glass walls. I don't think they're glass. They might be
Perspex or something, plasticky, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So now it's almost like a kind of like a jail cell where you have to stay behind and talk on the phone to your loved one.
It does look like that, doesn't it?
Yeah. And then also the same thing with the checkout counter over at some of the big chain stores.
That's good to see, because I heard many places in the UK were doing this, right? Putting up the plastic between the teller and or the seller, the sales assistant who's taking the money, and the person who's buying the goods.
Right.
In Korea, I hadn't seen that, to be honest. I've been to many marts and like convenience stores. I haven't seen it that often. They are wearing masks usually,
right?
And I think that's maybe made us a little bit complacent, so we could do more. But that's good to see.
Right.
there.
I think that's a lot better. And then also at the courthouse, they started implementing that, and so whenever the witness has to come up. There's
Everyone's
a separation
masks in there as well.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting scene, isn't it? And then when witnesses come up, they stand behind like some kind of perspex.
Yeah, so I guess they're in their little they're behind a little wall.
Wow.
And then also at the city halls and some of the ward offices throughout the cities and districts in the cafeteria, they also have to eat behind a wall. Essentially,
it's interesting that on each table there's 4 little corners, but the table next to you has no barrier at all. So again, it's not perfect.
It's not perfect.
And my daughter and my son as well, they've been told when they eat at school and nursery, even if they've got the barriers, you shouldn't talk. Because that's the time when you've got your mask down, when you've got to eat. So there's like no talking. And my little girl who's 5, it's so difficult for her to not say anything.
Yeah, I bet.
But she says she's not talking at lunchtime. So she says it's so boring. Like, I hate lunch is now her least favourite time of the day.
That's so sad.
And it is a bit sad,
it's supposed to be the best time.
Yeah, when you're eating, sharing good chat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We'd love to know about stuff in your country, so do let us know. We are going to get to a song request from Dubu or Tofu on V Live and be back with loads of your social distancing measure messages. This is Mayday by Victon. Cedric talking about social distancing in our daily lives and how we're tackling Corona. JPXCN on V Live says, is this a 외국방 song, a foreign broadcast? If you mean foreign to Korea, no, we're broadcasting from Korea, all about Korea and its culture to the rest of the world. If you've got any questions about COVID-19 and what we're doing, it would be perfect to send it in right now. We've got loads of messages to get through. So.
Tons of messages. Jana says, I have to scan the QR code every day when I enter the school. We have the QR code everywhere, so contact tracing is very effective. But in Malaysia, I guess wearing masks quite well. But for kids, it's quite bad. I see most kids don't wear masks, even though parents do. Wow. Yeah. So that's very similar to what you mentioned earlier, except you know, I guess it's cool that the parents wear masks, but kids are also at risk. But you know, they might even be asymptomatic and
because they're less affected. They might super spread it everywhere, right? It's been amazing though to see like the social kind of experiment with my kids when it was just fine dust was the reason for masks. They would refuse pretty much to wear it, or they'd wear it for a little while and then take it off. But once we tell them about this big scary virus, my son is really anal. He's like, if we wind down the window in our car, he'll be like, oh wait, I need my mask. Like, it's not going to fly in through the window, we're on the motorway or the highway. But he's like, no, it could come in. And I'm like, no, let's calm down. But it's good to be safer rather than sorry.
Sure,
yeah,
I think you created a monster there.
But they've adapted really far too well, I think.
Yeah.
Leon has a hilarious bit of information motivation. I wonder if this is true. He said he heard the rules in Japan at the amusement park rides. You're not allowed to scream because of spreading the germs.
No way.
How can you stop someone screaming on a roller coaster? That's amazing. Are they the guidelines, Leon?
Oh my goodness. It's almost like at the cafeteria you can't talk. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's the whole point of going to the theme park, isn't it? You also say in Singapore you have to scan the QR codes or your identity card to check in when you're entering stores and shopping malls, and there is a limit on the number of shoppers allowed in the store at a time. I think that's the theory here at many places, to limit the numbers, even at places like water parks. But I don't know how well that is going, because the business motivation is to make as much money as possible.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they're balancing that, to be honest, here or anywhere in the world.
Right. I haven't been anywhere where, I guess, space has been limited, except the movie theater. Where they're limited to the seats. But everywhere else, in stores, they seem to let everyone in. Yeah,
because it's much harder to, I guess, calculate or track how many people are in. Mm-hmm. But with a cinema or a concert theatre, you could guess, or you could get the numbers on the tickets sold. So I reckon that's easier to track and easier to clamp down on, maybe.
Right. And Yana says social distancing has worsened when the MCO is loosened. I'm not sure what MCO is.
Movement Control Order, I think, in Malaysia. You couldn't, go between cities or states or something. We didn't have that here, though, right?
Right. But what we can do when people's capacity is so high in the city. Almost all sectors are already opening. It's understandable, yet scary.
It's true. There is a bit of fear, isn't there? We don't know what's around the corner with Corona, and that's been the problem the whole time, because it's the first time facing this pandemic, right?
Right. Everyone is learning as they go. But Yana also mentions jogging here, you're not required to wear a mask.
Oh.
And this is why the ministry said you shouldn't wear a mask while jogging, because you can suffocate, or it can be suffocating.
Okay, yeah. I guess that is true, but I don't know then what you're doing about the safety aspect of that. If joggers are jogging close together, right? That could be quite dangerous, I suppose. We've got a video clip from Siska in Indonesia saying this is the new normal for shopping malls in Jakarta. We're just loading it up for you now. Is this like a little advert from one of the shopping malls? Oh. You must wear face. Wow, they've got the whole face screens there for the employees. And then you're going. The gap. Oh, it's a temperature gauge. It looks like airport security.
I know.
Why are you putting your bag through that scanning machine?
You might be carrying COVID in there. Who knows?
Can they detect viruses? I guess that might just be for security.
Right.
Wow, the signs here are really big. And a touchless lift button. What a good idea.
You guys are actually a bit ahead of us, I would say.
Yeah, we've not seen that here. That's amazing. And then in the car park again.
Touchless parking
to get your tickets.
Wow.
Well, we can trump you on that. We just have a number plate recognition. You don't even need a ticket. But cashless payment, I've heard that that's being really encouraged in many countries. No cash, like cards instead. Touchless hand soap, yeah, we got
some of that. We still have the little bar soap hanging.
2 steps apart, that's the guideline on escalators. That seems like a good idea. Oh, a merchandise sterilizer.
That's so cool.
Wow. No seating allowed, so you gotta have a little bit of distance on the benches. Cashless payment. The employees are wearing the rubber gloves as well. I'm impressed.
No, I really am too. I think they're definitely ahead of the game there.
Yeah, with that sterilizer for good. So you put your bags into a little cupboard and it sterilizes it with the UV light. What a wonderful idea that is.
Wow.
Okay, Korea. We've got some catching up to do with that department store at least. That looks like quite a nice place to go, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like Korea, but COVID is really forcing just places and countries to get caught up with technology.
Yeah, to innovate. So that's really cool. We will have, I guess, some benefits overall, right? This is a photo from Malaysia, and Yana said the restaurants are doing the social distancing with the tables. They've put on big X's on certain tables that you can't sit at. That's really interesting, isn't it?
Right.
Like making it outright obvious that you shouldn't sit there.
Right. Yeah, I hope that is just tape and not paint or marker.
They're going to regret that after COVID. I've seen in Korea, some restaurants will try their best to space you out, but now on the weekends, when we have been to a restaurant, they just have thrown it out the window. They've realized they're going to be full, so they just sit you near other tables anyway. So I'm a bit worried about that. And again, because you're not wearing masks at dinner time and lunchtime, right? Fingers crossed for that. We got one from Josh who says, I had a lady tell me to cover my nose getting some fresh air when she was 20 feet away from me. I told her, I'm 20 feet away, mind your own business.
Oh.
Yeah, it's hard, right? What's the etiquette? Are you allowed to tell others to wear a mask in places like on the streets and stuff like that?
Right. Well, apparently on the subway car you can, but here in Korea.
So I think where it's a law or a rule, I think that's reasonable. As long as you do it in a polite way, right?
Right. But on the street, especially when you're actually distant and you're far away from someone, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it does seem a bit unreasonable in that case. But yeah, if it's better for safety, what are the new bits of etiquette? What can we tell strangers? Like, don't you dare sneeze in my direction or even think about coughing this way.
Right. There's a funny story. Yesterday I was just walking past somebody, I think on the street, and they sneezed next to me, and I freaked out. Because I was like, were they wearing a mask? Did they cover their mouth? But it was literally like in passing. Don't worry, I should be okay.
Fingers crossed, everything's all right.
But yeah, it's just now like we're just reacting so differently to just normal things.
Yeah, if I cough anywhere, I get really embarrassed. I'm like, oh no, I shouldn't have coughed. What did I do?
I'm gonna get stoned.
Yeah, Faz from Malaysia also says, what I'm curious about, how are they going to handle the whole entry and exit of voters in small and tight spaces, or maybe separate stations allocated for certain groups? Well, we had the vote here in Korea, I think back in April, and apparently there was not one confirmed case tracked back to it, which was pretty amazing. I think we were doing social distancing in the queues for voting, and then I think there was some kind of one-way system. But yeah, in older countries, maybe there will be more close proximity. Fingers crossed everyone stays clean with masks on.
Right, absolutely. And Raul with a message saying, here the masks are mandatory and social distancing too, but we are so not disciplined and the people don't really follow the rules. So, some people do, but some people don't.
Yeah, I guess not everyone in any country, I think it's safe to say, will all follow the rules. Right. That's an impossible task, but you want the majority to be on board, right? And I think that comes not just from a country's culture, but also the leadership. Like if you have faith in the leadership, then maybe you're all on board. But if it's inconsistent messaging, then that's not so good. In Korea, I think that's been the strong point. It's been really kind of consistent from the beginning, right? The messaging around things. Aimlita says the restaurants is really interesting to see the social distancing, and in supermarkets we have the little borders, the markings on the floor. Yeah, you showed us in your local supermarket, it seems to have that and all the signs everywhere, right? Yeah. But there's no one-way system I've seen in Korea, whereas in the UK, apparently supermarkets, you have to go a certain route, like almost a course. You can't go backwards or anything. And that's caused controversy over whether you can tell someone, you can't come back down this aisle. There's only one way, go the other way.
Yeah, like what if you forget something? That sucks for you.
You have to go round again, apparently. Cedric, thanks for coming in with that. I hope your back gets better.
Thank you very much.
All right. We haven't got a topic confirmed for next Monday as of yet.
Not yet.
Any suggestions, we'll take them on board as well. And we'll see you next Monday.
See you guys next week.
All right, let's play some Are You Someday.